After what feels like an eternity, we finally have a release date for the long-awaited new Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea. At 8:30 p.m. on Sunday the 7th of December, the first 2 episodes will air back-to-back on both BBC One and BBC iPlayer in the UK, with the rest of the series airing weekly until Sunday the 21st of December. I've always been really excited to watch this spin-off, and yet, even though the premiere date is now less than 3 weeks away, it still seems most of the Doctor Who fandom doesn't really care about it. So in today's video, I thought I'd share 5 reasons why I'm really hyped for the show, and hopefully help you become more excited for it too. Enjoy. Number 1. The cast. When it was announced last year that the series would be led by Russell Tovey and Gugu Mbatha Raw, my hype levels skyrocketed. Not only am I already a fan of both actors, but them being recognisable and established will hopefully give the show some status and encourage the mainstream audience to tune in. The fact both Russell and Gugu agreed to star in the spin-off gives me the impression that the scripts are well written, with juicy parts for them to play. Well, either that, or the pay was good. Regardless of the quality of the scripts though, both actors are incredible, who I'm sure will give their all to their respective roles. If you don't believe me, then be sure to check out Russell's werewolf transformation scenes in the brilliant TV show Being Human, along with Gugu's performance in the Netflix film The Cloverfield Paradox. There's a scene where her character is basically talking to the camera, which is genuinely one of my favourite performances I've ever seen an actor give in a film. Of course, we also have the return of the Doctor Who characters Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, Colonel Christopher Ibrahim and Shirley Ann Bingham, which will help tie the spin-off to the main show. While I am looking forward to seeing these characters again, I'm more excited about seeing Russell and Gugu's characters, to be honest. Something I'm hoping the spin-off does is flesh out the unit personnel some more, as, let's be honest here, aside from Kate, they don't really have much going for them. I really don't get why some people ship Kate and Ibrahim, as he's such a dull character from what we've seen so far. Anyway, I think Gemma Redgrave especially deserves to have a lot more screen time and focus after having now appeared in 16 episodes of Doctor Who, alongside 7 Doctors. Before I move on, I want to quickly say how I love that Colin McFarlane will be reprising his role as General Austin Pearce, who last appeared over 16 years ago in the incredible Torchwood Children of Earth series. This is an awesome little detail and link to a previous Doctor Who spin-off, which I hope The War Between the Land and the Sea makes an explicit reference to. Number 2. The music. For me, music is an integral part of my enjoyment of a film or TV show. A memorable soundtrack elevates the experience into something greater, while a generic sounding score quickly decreases my appreciation for what I'm watching. So when I found out a few months ago that The War Between would be scored by the fantastic composer Lorne Balfe, I was delighted. If you don't already know, he's the man who scored some of the recent Mission Impossible films, Black Widow, His Dark Materials, amongst numerous other films and TV shows. I've been a fan of Lorne's music for years, and I really can't wait to hear his contribution to the Doctor Who universe. Whilst putting this video together, Lorne has actually released a sneak preview of the music he's composed for the series, and I can already tell it's going to be epic. All this being said, There is a small part of me that's disappointed that the spin-off won't be composed by the legend that is Murray Gold. However, I do think the series will benefit from having a different soundscape to Doctor Who. It's worked for all the other spin-offs at least. And dare I say it, but following the most recent Doctor Who series, it does seem like Murray is running out of ideas. So getting a different composer involved in the war between is definitely a good thing. Number 3. The opportunity to give justice to the Sea Devils. I have a weird relationship with the Sea Devils. Admittedly, prior to 2022, I didn't care for them, but as soon as they were announced as being in the Easter special Legend of the Sea Devils, I became obsessed and couldn't wait to see them return for the first time in nearly 40 years. You can imagine my disappointment then when the episode aired and quickly became renowned as being one of the worst episodes since the show was revived in 2005. I'll save my views on why I personally don't like it for a future video, but ultimately I came out of watching it gutted that the Sea Devils' long-awaited return was wasted on a rubbish Doctor Who episode. So when it was rumoured and later announced that they would be the primary antagonist of the war between the land and the sea, I was intrigued, as this will give the Doctor Who universe another opportunity to use the creatures in a compelling story. There will be 5 whole episodes to make the Sea Devils interesting and expand their mythology, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the spin-off has in store for us. Hopefully, at the very least, we'll get to see some underwater scenes showing where they live, and a recreation of the iconic scene from their first appearance where they come out of the sea. I may be losing some respect for Russell T Davies as a Doctor Who showrunner, but when it comes to modernising classic monsters for a new generation, he's generally done a good job at this. Though the less said about Omega, the better. Now you may be thinking at this point that the spin-off already isn't doing justice to the Sea Devils, due to their redesign and RTD's recent comments implying Homo aqua is their actual species name. Although I am apprehensive about the potential name change, I'm not really bothered about the redesign at this stage. I understand why it was done for Gugu's character, as she needs to be able to express emotions, and it's heavily rumoured she will have a romance with Russell Tovey's character Barclay. It would be quite awkward to have him fall in love with something that looks like this. Reassuringly, other Sea Devils we've seen in the promotional material look less humanoid and more intimidating, which is why I don't mind the redesign not being faithful to the classic series look. As for the possible renaming of the species to Homo aqua, I think we need to wait and see how this is addressed in the show. I'd be lying though if I said I wasn't concerned that the series will not refer to them as Sea Devils at all. Overall though, I'm looking forward to seeing how the war between the land and the sea handles the Sea Devils. Whatever happens, it can't be worse than them sailing around on a magical pirate ship, right? Number 4. The structure and plot. The structure and plot of the spin-off is very reminiscent of the extraordinary Torchwood Children of Earth series. Both series tell one story across 5 episodes and are about humanity facing off against another species in a global crisis that the Doctor doesn't get involved in. They also both appear to have a strong political element, as from the promotional material we've seen so far, it seems the war between will feature government meetings and negotiations between the two species to deal with the crisis, again, just like in Children of Earth. I consider the 3rd series of Torchwood to be one of, if not the best thing to ever come from the Doctor Who universe, so naturally I'm really excited at the prospect of getting a new spin-off that's really similar to it. Telling one story over 5 episodes is a welcome change from the Monster of the Week type of storytelling that most Doctor Who media has, and could really work to the War Between's advantage, allowing time for the conflict and relationships between characters to naturally build without being rushed or forced. It should also mean we get an exciting cliffhanger at the end of each episode, which would help build hype before the next one airs. As for the plot, I think having humans go up against creatures who live in the oceans is a really interesting idea, and I respect the show for using the Sea Devils to provide commentary on how mankind is polluting the oceans. This would have made a great Doctor Who two-parter, but I'm glad it was saved for the spin-off, as the story can be fleshed out more across 5 episodes, and the stakes can be raised even higher with the Doctor not being able to get involved in the plot. There is a slight risk that the show will rip off films like The Shape of Water and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but honestly, I don't care if this turns out to be true, as the film and TV industry is full of unoriginality. As long as the story is unique to the Doctor Who universe, then I don't mind if it's been heavily inspired by other things. The jury's out as to whether the War Between the Land and the Sea will end up being as spectacular as Children of Earth, but considering the similarities in structure and plot, it's certainly got the potential to be the next series the fandom raves about. And finally, number 5. Doctor Who spin-offs are always good. Every single Doctor Who spin-off we've had so far has been good, if not excellent. K9 and Company doesn't count. Although Torchwood arguably got off to a shaky start in its first series, it was still enjoyable, and the show undeniably went from strength to strength each year, culminating in the astonishing Children of Earth series that I keep banging on about. Admittedly, the following series, Miracle Day, did take a bit of a nosedive in quality, but due to how Americanised it was, and how it was never referenced in Doctor Who, we can technically pretend it's not canon. It was watchable at least, and has my respect for trying to tell a story that I don't think has been done before. Regardless of how you view each series of Torchwood, you'll hopefully agree that overall the show had more strong episodes than weak ones. As for the Sarah Jane Adventures, we all know how consistently entertaining that was across its 5 series, and it's still heartbreaking that Elizabeth Sladen's life was cut short, not only for the loss of an incredible woman, but for the loss of the 3 Series 5 stories that were never filmed. I wholeheartedly believe these would have been some of the show's best, especially the 13th Floor storyline, which would have given Clyde and Rani something really emotional and mature to work with. Lastly, we have the hugely underrated Class, which only ran for a single series. I don't care what anyone says, this show was great, and the only reason it was short-lived was because no one watched it, which was largely due to how poorly the BBC promoted and scheduled it. Had the show been given the love it deserved, we would have seen the Weeping Angels' home planet and had them as the main villain for Series 2. I will never forgive the BBC for their mishandling of Class. Considering Russell T Davies oversaw 2 of the shows I've just mentioned, and is also behind The War Between the Land and the Sea, I'm confident it will be at least as good as all the spin-offs that have come before it, and hopefully even better. So there we have it. That's 5 reasons why I'm hyped for The War Between the Land and the Sea. What about you though? Are you excited about it like I am? Or do you not care and would rather have more Doctor Who episodes instead? Let me know in the comments so that we can chat about it, and please be kind enough to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I will hopefully be making more videos on the spin-off once it starts airing, So if that interests you, make sure you're subscribed to not miss them. All that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. See ya!